Hello guys, in this new YouTube video we'll be discussing about the Linux questions, commands, and what are the differences between Linux and Unix, and what are the commands, and we'll be discussing about the commands which are used in the Ubuntu software. Uh, here, okay, I have prepared a sheet of Excel with 30 different all the commands. So we'll be discussing this one by one. I think by discussing all this will be taking a long time. So we'll be making this video into half. So first part will be the only theory part which we discussed now, and which all the questions here. What is Unix and what are the differences? So we'll be discussing the first part, all the Unix questions or Linux questions. After that, in second video, we'll be discussing about the, with live commands. Okay, in our software. Okay, let's start our video. The first question is, what is difference between Linux and Unix? Okay, the first point comes as Linux is more flexible than compared to Unix, like operating system. Like you, Unix is also used to be an operating system, but after that it has become the family of operating system. Unix first is used to be a single operating system, but as the changes occurred, Linux is become the family of operating system, and as through that Linux is more flexible. And coming to second point, the commands used are not fully same. Okay, in Linux all the commands are same, but they are not the totally same compared to Unix. Whatever the commands used in Linux are almost same, but they are not totally same. This should be noted. And coming to third point, Linux is basically a form of Unix. Okay, as we've discussed that Linux is a family of operating systems, right? In Linux there are different types of operating system. For example, we can take like Mac OS. It has one of the special version which consists of Linux. Because Unix have different very high features that not only supports the good memory but also supports the high data security. Okay, that will be discussing in later. Okay, and it is the Linux is the re-implementation of the on OS developed, operating system developed by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. Okay, Dennis Ritchie is the founder of C language and call Unix. It has re-implemented with the help of Unix. Okay, after that let's move on to second question. Okay, define a single user system. Okay, let's start with single user system. Okay, single user system means only a single person can access to the system. Okay, a personal computer which possesses an operating system designed to operate by only one user at a given time is known as single user system. It means that only a single user, whereas compared to, for example, if we take as laptop, only a single person, if it is private, then it is only used by a single person. Whereas when coming to what is Unix, in Unix it is a multi-user computer operating system with shell-based scripting language. Okay, first here there are three different unknowns we have. Okay, what is a multi-user? We have known that single user, right? Multi-user means an operating system designed so that multi people, many people can able to access from the laptop. Within a from a single laptop we are able to use two or three more different people with the same laptop. Two or three different people can able to access with the help of single laptop. Okay, with shell, shell is an, okay, we'll be discussing about what is shell. Okay, here is shell. Okay, it has an interface between user and the computer hardware. With the help of commands we are going to interact the interface and the hardware. Okay, and for online, okay, as we know that Unix is not free, it costs. If you want to practice in Unix, we are going to use the onworks and Ubuntu live server. With the help of Ubuntu is it consists of Linux, but the commands are almost same, right? So we can use Unix commands and Ubuntu. And what are the main factors that helps to using Unix are security. Security is very high, and memory management is very accurate, and processor. These are the three main features that will affect the Unix. Okay, let's revise what are the three different. Okay, first is memory management, and second one is security, and third one comes to and processor. These are very good, right? So that's why we are going to use Linux, Unix. Okay, describe the term directory. Okay, these are we are entering into the topic of Unix. Okay, let's start. What is the term directory? Okay, directory is a file. Okay, directory in Unix is a specialized form in which different files are uh, created. Okay, directory in Unix is a specialized form of a file that maintains a list of all the files which are included in it. Okay, in Unix we are going to create a files. Different files are created. For example, file one of text and a Python file and a C file, and then we are going to store the files in it, right? So all the listed files we are going to allocate a single file. Such file is called as directory. That it is specialized form. Okay, this is called as directory. And then move on to shell. Okay, what is mean by shell? Okay, whenever we are going to entering into the server, will get the interface, right? Whatever the interface present is, such interface is called as shell. I mean, we are going to write commands on that, right? Okay, let's move on to this definition. A shell provides you with an interface to the Unix system. Okay, it gathers input from you and executes program based on that input. Okay, we are going to give the inputs in the form of commands, right? For example, if you are giving the command as date, okay, then the current date will be printed in the form of output. Okay, that's it. A shell provides you with an interface. It gives an interface to the Unix system. It gathers input. We are giving the input, right, and executes program based on that input. That's it. The prompt dollar, which is called the command prompt, is used by the shell. Okay, here we have two different Unix systems, right? First one is bourne shell. Here we can see bourne shell, and second one is C shell. In bourne shell, in bones bourne shell, if we are getting the if we are having the character as dollar as the default prompt, then it is called as bourne shell. And if you are getting the percentage as, I mean, default prompt at the start of writing the commands, then such is called as C shell. Okay, let's take an example of this. This is an bourne shell. Here we are going to give the input as date, then the output will in the form of Thursday, June 25th, and this is the time 8:39, 8:13 19 seconds MST, and year is 2009. This is an example of command. Here we are giving command, and this is a type of bourne shell, and we are getting the output. Let's move on to next question. Okay, what are the methods in Unix? Okay, there are two different methods. First is absolute and second is symbolic. Okay, here after the creation of files, we are changing the directory. I mean, we are giving the access only to the user and group and others. For example, in C++, we have three different access specifiers, right? For example, uh, public, protected, and private, right? Three different access specifiers. So similarly, in Unix also we have three different uh, methods of giving the access to the persons. For example, user defines with U and group with G and O with others. And for read, I mean, a user can read, write, and execute, a group can read, write, and execute, and others can read, write, and execute. Okay, for example, read consists of R for 4 and write for 2 and execute for 1. Okay, in symbolic method, if we mean that if after u plus wx, if you are going to mention the file name, it will simply says that it means w and x is present, right? W for write and execute. I mean, user can read and user can write and execute, but the others, groups and others, cannot. Okay, it means user can write and execute but cannot read. This means that with the help of this method, we are going to give the access to the user, groups and others to what they can read, what they can write, and what they can execute. Okay, this is an symbolic method. Let's come to absolute method. For example, 300 is an example. Okay, 300 first number indicates the user. Okay, user. 3, I mean user can write and execute 2 plus 1 equals to 3, right? Okay, 2 plus 1 3, I mean user can write and execute, while group and others 2 and 3 are 0. I mean group and execute cannot do any function. Okay, they are not able to read, not able to write, and not able to execute. Only the user present in the system can write and execute, that's it. And let us take another example, 756. Okay, 7 means first starting letter indicates of user. Okay, user, what he can do, user can write, okay, user can read, and user can execute. I mean 4 plus 2 plus 1, 6 plus 1 7. User can read, write, and execute. And coming to 5, I mean group can write and execute. Okay, group can write and execute. 4 plus 1 5, that's it, right? After that, coming to others, I mean others can write and read but cannot execute. Okay, these are the different methods that are used in the Unix. Okay, one is absolute method and the second is symbolic method. Okay, if you are going to use the absolute method, with the help of umass we are going to change it. Okay, we'll discussing all the commands in the Excel file. Let's complete first questions. Okay, let's move on to second question. Next question. Okay, what are the Linux commands? Okay, Linux commands are inbuilt programs that can be invoked in multiple ways. Okay, we have different Unix commands. These are the some files I have listed here. I mean commands listed here. These are the inbuilt programs. Okay, let's move on to the commands that are in Excel file. Okay, I hope my screen is visible, right? Okay, let's come from starting. Okay. uh, First one is mkdir. I mean mkdir means, okay, let's take a notepad and I'll be explaining in this. This is in theory part. We'll discuss all the, I mean with an examples in the next video. Okay, mkdir means creating of new directories with a specified name. For example, mkdir, if I am using irs, it becomes a new directory. Mkdir means creating of new directory with a name. Okay, that's it. Ls, what does ls means? It lists all the files present in a directory. Okay, for example, ls irs, it gives all the files present in it. Okay, this gives the okay, here we have created a directory, right? Here we are going to list all the files. For example, if I have f1 of txt file and f2 of txt file, then after, with the help of this command, I'm going to let know that these are the two files that are present in my directory. Okay, that's it. After coming to third, what is the third? Changing of directory. Okay, as we have of here we are in the files, right? Okay, for creation of files, for example, cat. Okay, third. Okay, touch, for example, touch a, I mean touch command is used here to create an empty files. Okay, whenever a touch command is used, after that anything is, I mean if a it is to create a new files with, I mean creating new files with empty, I mean there should be no data in it. So such files are called as, with the help of touch command we are going to use. For example, touch a, b and c, these are the three different commands, right? Different files, right, which have no data in it, I mean nothing, null. So after that, if you want to change the directory, for example, I'm taking ls off, and these three are in the irs directory. So whenever I'm using this, I'll be getting f1 f2, these three, and then a, b and c. These are the different. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, these are the different files that I will be accessing, I mean I will be looking into it. Okay, that's what we have created, right? F1 and f1.txt and f2.txt we have created with the help of, for example, take cat. Okay, with this command. Okay, let's move. We are we have left third one, right? Changing to directory. Okay, if you are writing the if you are writing anything in the files, right? If you want to move on to the simple to the directory, I mean whatever the directory is present, or to the main directory. Okay, and one more point is, if you are starting directory, our command prompt is, if it is dollar, then we are in the form of directory. If for example, if our directory is, okay, irs, then it will be in the form of irs. Okay, for example, we have a file irs ali, right? Then it will be in the form, I mean, here we are going to write the file contents. Here we are going to write the directory. I mean, for example, irs is a directory, right? It is a directory, and after the directory, in this directory, ali is a file. Okay, let's move on to touch. We are going to create a new files with an empty files, empty new files. Okay, after that, with the help of cat. Okay, cat greater than, for example, f1 dot txt. If we want txt, okay, if cat greater than f1, this means that with commands create a new file, f1 of new file. Okay, and cat of, if you want to displace the element, okay, cat of f1. Okay, this, here we have created a file which consists of file name as f1. If you want to print all the contents present in our f1, then we have to simply use the cat function, and after that, removing the greater than symbol, we can simply print it. Okay, in this we have, okay, here create a new file and write content in it. Okay, and create, display the contents in the file. Okay, the cat consists of three different functions. First is to write the to create and write the content in it for a, and second one is cat is used to display the contents present in it, and third one is cat is used to merge. I mean, if there are two different files, if you want to merge them and copy into the another file, then cat is used with the cat command is used. Okay, here cat is greater than file name. Okay, we completed this, right? We are going to create a file, and we are going to write the contents in it. And in a second, in the sixth command, cat of file name, we are going to display the content present in it. Okay, in this command, cat is greater than file name, file 2, and we are going to merge. I mean, whatever the contents present in a file 1 and file 2, we are going to simply merge into the file merge. Okay, all the contents will be into the file merge. Okay, whenever after that, after file merge, if we are printing, for example, if you are going to give the command as cat of file merge, then we are going to display the content in our file merge with the help of whatever the present in our file name 1 and 2. Okay, let's, okay, ls.txt means whatever the text files present in a directory, that will be printed. Okay, or else whatever the uh, inner files, okay, whatever the text files present in our directory or text in our list or files will be printed. For example, f1 of f1.txt and f2.txt are two files, right? For example, here we have taken two text files, right? If we simply print, like for example, ls, if we are going to write command star.txt, okay, with this we are simply printing all the file text f1.txt, f2.txt. Okay, these are the two different file text in the form of file text files in the form of text. So that's what it is printing. After pvd, that is, it will display the current working directory in shell. Okay, working directory, present working directory. Okay, pvd means present working directory. Okay, if you are if for example, if you are, here we are using irs directory, right? If you want to know, for example, uh, in real life we are having thousands of different directories. If you want to know in which directory we are currently working, with the help of simple command, for example, pwd, and then simply press it. After the entering, we are going to get the directory name. So that's what this command is about. After that, copy the contents from one file to another file with the help of cp command. For example, f1 and f2. That is, f2 will be copied into the f1, simple. And then coming to move, here move a file or directory. Here if you want to move a file, for example f1 is a file or a directory. For example, if you want to move a file, for example f1 is in file, right? If you want to move into the another, we have to mention the file name. For example, irs is a directory, and then space. If we are having another file name, for example f3, then in f3 we are moving the f1 in which directory? In irs directory. That's it. And head is mean for printing all the top 10 lines in the file, and tail is for tail command displays the top 10 bottom lines present in a file, and tag is used for display the content in reverse order. For example, if you are having, okay, for example, take Ali and Irshad. This consists of, for example, f1 is on file. If I'm using tag of f1, I'll be getting the results in the form of Irshad and Ali. I mean, the contents present will be reversed. See here, Irshad is reversed. Okay. And then coming to more, whenever we use more command, if there are thousands of files, but in our laptop only we can see up to a 20 to 30, right? So if you want to look more commands in our screen, we are going to use the more command. Okay, if you want to know the host name and ip address, we have to simply write the host name in our command. For example, uh, this is our command prompt, right? If you want to know the history, we are simply writing the history. For example, if you want the host name, right? Host name, we are simply writing like host name. We will be getting the host name. For example, laptop something, a name or something. I mean, whatever the laptop connected to it will be the for example, if you are using ubuntu online live server, I mean, whatever the server we are going to connect to the system, that host name will be presented. For example, if you want to know the host name of ip address, with this command we are going to get the ip address of that laptop. I mean, every different laptop have ip addresses, right? If you want to know what is the ip address that we are working on that laptop, we are going to use this host name of I. Okay, ch mode. Okay, if you want to change the mode of directory, for example, here before we have discussed that absolute and a symbolic method, right? If you want to change the directory with the help of uh, symbolic method, we are using chmod u plus w and x. I mean, user can write and execute. If you are using write w x, I mean, of with the help of this command we are giving the user as he can read, write and execute. For example, group, I mean, group can read, write and execute. For example, and others can read, write and execute. This is what this command about. After that, vi, if you want to enter elements into the file, we are using vi. Rm and rmdir, if you want to remove the directory. Okay, first, rm means if you want to remove the files which have the contents present in it. For example, okay, f1 has contents in it, right? If you want to delete the contents present in my f1, rm f1, that's it. All the files will be removed. Okay, if I want to remove the directory rmdir, for example, irs is the directory I've created, right? Okay, if you want to remove the directory rmdir irs. Okay, but if I have any files present in my directory, for example, if in my irs, if I have for example f1 and f2 files, then it won't be deleted because rmdir works only when there are empty files present in a directory. Okay, after that, ln of s, I mean, soft link is created, and ln of hl means creation of hard link. Yeah, ln of s, and then ln of hl. Hard link is created. Soft link and hard link are two different, so we are going to uh, create two different links. And after that, stat. Okay, if you want to know the statistics of an file, for example, stat of s, for example, s is a soft link, right? If you want to know the statistics of a stat file, for example, stat of s, then we have to write simply stat of s. That's it. All the statistics will be popped up. After that, if you want to find the statistics of our hard link, then simply write stat of hl. And after that, if we are using this command ls of d, whatever the directory is present in our operating system will be printed. And what is la means whatever the hidden files in our system will be popped up. Ls means listing all the directory files, and ls of a means listing all the hidden files. Okay. And this command is differentiate of two different file names. For example, in here f1 of, okay, okay, I have two different files, right? For example, this is f1 and this is f2. If I'm writing this command, I mean differentiate diff f1 and f2, diff f1 and f2. If I'm writing this command, whatever the elements that are different, I mean Pranit is not present and Irshad is not present, right? So here Irshad will be the output and Pranit will be the output. Okay, after, if you want to check the history, simply write history in our command prompt. And if you want to use the uh, changing the directory with the help of absolute method, so with the help of umask we are using it. If you want to change the directory with the help of symbolic method, we are using the chmod. We have discussed before, right? With the help of chmod we are going to change the directory, mode of directory, for example user group of others. But with the help of umask, with the help of, we are going to use change the directory for the uh, absolute method. That's it. If you want to list the files in the ascending order and descending order, by means of time, if I have created a file at 8:30 and I have created another file at 10:30, I mean whatever the file that I have created in the form of ascending order means first 8:30 will be present and then 10:30 of that file will be present. And similarly, in descending order means in the form of reverse, I mean what I have created at the last will be presented first. After that, whatever the files present in my bin directory, that will be shown with this command. These are the top 30 commands that will be used in Unix. Okay, these are almost these commands can use almost in our Linux also. So I'll be sharing this Excel file as well as PPT if needed. Okay, these are the different commands that we are going to use. And that's it for today's video. And let's wrap this. Thank you.